Okay, it's time for joy singing.
A brand new day, it's starting now, it's gonna be.
Can you turn on the record, please?
I'll lift my voice to the heavens above, I'll raise my heart in praise of love, in praise of love, that's why I'm here, and I will shout it loud and clear. It will ring so strong and true. Open my heart, begin anew. Here I am, my spirit strong. Here I am, where I belong. In my tribe, we're on our way. Hey, 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 it's a brand new day. Forget the past, forgive the pain. Just cup your hands and catch the rain. Then drink it up and drink it in. Refresh your soul, begin again. Here we are, what will we do? It all depends on what we choose. Let it be love, it lights our way. Hey, 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 it's a brand new day. A brand new day. It's starting now. It's gonna be what I allow. I lift my soul. I find a way. Open my heart to a brand new day. Open my heart to a brand new day.
Oops. And at Unity, this is how we clap when we want to show gratitude for the singing and the speaking and whatever we do. So thank you to Trish and Harvey, who aren't here in person, but who are here in spirit. And now I'm going to invite Cleo to do our opening prayer.
And I'm going to pray a prayer that Trish wrote that moved me deeply. So let's take the idea of that song we just sang into prayer. Let's open our hearts and let the magic co-create with spirit. So take a conscious breath, close your eyes if you're able, and move into your heart space and ask the Christ Spirit within you to fill you in this moment. As we connect with each other, we affirm that there is one presence and one power active in the universe and in our lives. We surrender knowing that everything is unfolding in divine timing and in perfect ways, and that in spirit all things are possible. We open our minds and hearts and allow joy and gratitude, love and possibility to fill us. And it is with a spirit of curiosity and playfulness we ask, what if something wonderful is about to happen? We see with the eyes of spirit and notice the magic that is all around us. We practice leaning into the future and opening up to the mystery and surprises that the universe has for us. And we move forward, co-creating our lives and our world. And so, with gratitude, wonder, and a little bit of stardust, we say, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is, and so we let it be.
And so it is. Amen. Thank you so much, Cleo. Both of you, Trish and Cleo, that was beautiful. Thank you. Welcome to Unity Kitchener. It's my honor and my privilege to be here today and to serve as your ministry coordinator. I am so happy to see you all. I think Sunday mornings is my favorite morning because I get to see all these beautiful faces online. What is unity? Unity is a positive, practical, progressive approach to spirituality. In unity, some of the ways that we speak of God are life, light, love, substance, principle, law, energy, universal mind. We invite you to use or substitute with whatever name you feel comfortable using. We see God as one power, all good, everywhere present, all wisdom. God is divine energy, continually creating, expressing, and sustaining all creation. The nature of humankind is that we see us being each individual, eternal expressions of God. Our essential nature is divine and therefore inherently good. Our purpose is to express our divine potential as realized and demonstrated by Jesus and many other masters too. The more we awaken to our divine nature, the more fully God expresses in and through our lives. Unity teaches that heaven is not a place, but a state of consciousness. We create our own heaven and hell right here and right now. We all have an innate capacity to know God within through our direct experience. There is a spark of divinity within all people, just as there was in Jesus. We know that affirmative prayer works, and we are here to make the world a better place. Unity Worldwide's vision is that we see a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And here at Unity Kitchener, our chosen mission is to transform consciousness and empower lives. Let us go into song once again.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my My soul is welcome here. 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 I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Beautiful.
So beautiful. Our souls are so, so welcome here. And the daily word for Sunday, August 16th is protected. Please affirm with me together. I shine my light and feel protected. Feelings of fear that creep into my life may conjure childhood memories of scary nighttime images and noises. As a child, I may have felt afraid of the dark or startled by an unfamiliar sound. But the morning sun always dispelled the darkness, and I realized there was never anything to fear. I keep that knowledge alive as I let the divine presence within dissolve the darkness of fear and shine the light of comfort and safety. Now, when any darkness descends in my life, I remember the protecting love, presence, and power of God expressing as me. And as I attune more fully to my divine nature, light dawns within my consciousness, and I realize that God's protection is always mine. Please affirm with me together. I shine my light and feel protected. Now for this beautiful prayer, we invite you to affirm together. We know that God is a love that has no end and a power that knows no bounds. God's healing power of divine life is restoring, healing, and revitalizing our world in this very moment. We let go of any fears or anxieties, and we affirm that we are all safe, healthy, and protected. We bless all those who support us in maintaining vibrant, radiant health, and we express divine life in all we think, say, and do. We bless our global family with radiant health, peace of mind, and abundant love.
To bask in that feeling, let us just close our eyes and feel that love. And now, turn, turn, turn.
To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And daytime to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to love, a time to weep. To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And daytime to every purpose under heaven. A time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And daytime to every purpose under heaven. A time to gain, a time to lose, a time to mend, a time to sow, a time for love, a time for hate, a time for peace. I know it's not too late.
Oh, there are the words. Now it is my honor to welcome back Mel Horvath-Lucid for part 2 of acceptance and non-attachment. So welcome, Mel. Thank you so much for this wonderful part 2 series.
Thank you. So I want to jump right in. Last week, we were talking about attachment as a catalyst for suffering. And attachment was defined as a fixation on those things outside of our control. And I've chose last week and this week to speak without slides, in part to really embody that sort of face-to-face conversation that invites us in with one another, but also that same invitation that I sense divine calls us into, those face-to-face times of being together. Charles Fillmore said, "We must learn to let go, to give up, to make room for the things we've prayed for and desired." And so I invite you to consider and reflect as we talk this morning on those things that you've prayed for and desired that you feel like are over here because you're holding on to things over here. And that's that suffering of fixation of things outside of our control that can happen in our lives. As I shared last week, Ecclesiastes, to everything turn, turn, there is a season, reminds us of the polarizations that both exist that are a part of our story. A time to build, a time to tear down, a time to be born, a time to die, a time to embrace, and a time to cease from embracing. And these things are neither good nor bad. They are, however, part of our story. And our growth often happens through the challenges in our lives. And I am, for one, grateful for the growth that I've had in mine, which means that I am then grateful too for the challenges. I did also mention that part of me that read that verse and thought, well, that sucks. The idea of these polars, these opposites both being present. And so I invite us to notice and consider when we get more comfortable with one side than the other, or when we create a bad from one side versus the other, rather than embracing that these are part of our stories. The challenge with attachment is that we may not realize we're holding on. I kind of imagine a hand that's been holding on so long that it becomes numb. We don't even notice anymore, and therefore we're not even aware that we're holding something, just that we're suffering. Last week I talked about emotional attachments, and I gave the example of needing something or someone to be a certain way in order to be happy or okay. So this attachment then becomes the determinant of our wholeness and well-being, meaning that externals need to be a certain way in order for us to feel okay. Today I want to dig deeper into attachment and forgiveness, and really the pull between them, how these can either be a source of truth and healing if we choose forgiveness, or suffering and that crappy feeling of stuckness that can cultivate pain. I want to draw from Caroline Miss's book, Anatomy of the Spirit. She identifies what I would call attaching beliefs, and when held, these can cause suffering. She says, ultimately, forgiveness is a battle between the righteousness of your ego and your capacity to transcend whatever situation you've experienced that has shattered the following myths that maintain that suffering, attachment to what has happened. and that we believe then that these are deserving of recognition, reward, or righteous vengeance. And these beliefs then cause us pain. The first myth is that God is on your side and only on your side. And for me, this one is key because the first half of it is so true. The universe is absolutely conspiring with you, but not only you. And oftentimes, when we go into life, we may go in with this idea of God on our side. And this creates a sense of separateness between us and the rest of the world. It can also create an illusion of us as better than others or separate from others. The second myth is that justice should be logical and reasonable and always serve your side of the story. For me, it's important to know that logical and reasonable will support your side of the story. When we hold a position, the stronger we hold a position, the more we will draw on those facts that support our position. This absolutely can cause us pain. And what we miss is the many perspectives, the many possible things that exist when we close our minds to believing this one thing, our story, as the right. I remember Rev Sharon once sharing the story of people blindfolded touching different parts of the elephant and describing the elephant completely different from the perspective for which they were standing, from how they were experiencing it. The invitation for us is to open our mind to these different perspectives, these different ways of experiencing. The third one is that God follows the code of human law. If you do only good things, bad things will never happen to you. And of course, then, you never do bad things. So that perception of good or bad causes us great pain. But there's another piece that I would invite you to consider within this idea of God following a human law of love being limited to good or bad, or to you. And that is that the divine that I've come to know would make a statement more that would say to each of us, nothing you can do can make me love you more, and nothing you can do can make me love you less. I've talked about before this idea that we are on a receiving system, not an achieving system. What a painful myth it is that we believe our worth, our enoughness, our worthiness for love is attached to what we do. And if it's not attached to what we do for you, that would mean that it is not attached to what we do for anybody. The last myth that she touches on is that you are entitled to have all things work out in your favor. I remember taking heart-centered metaphysics 3 and 4. And I remember distinctly the moment that I read, especially as a social justice advocate and activist, these words from Heart-Centered Metaphysics by Paul Hesselbeck. The earth doesn't deal in fair exchanges, right? The rain falls on the just and also on the unjust. And then I like the joke that says, but mostly on the just because the unjust stole their umbrellas. Right? This idea that life is going to deal in fair exchanges then creates great pain for us and confusion, because sometimes we've not dotted any of our I's or crossed any of our T's and it works out just fine. And other times we've dotted every I and crossed every T and we make it about us in a way that creates pain and suffering for us. The myth that you are entitled to have all things work out in your favor can create suffering. Metaphysics, heart-centered metaphysics tells us the earth doesn't deal in fair exchanges. Caroline Miss says, forgiveness is an act so powerful that a resurrection of the inner self does indeed occur, because you're retrieving back your spirit from the dead zone of past traumas and unfinished business. And last week, I called us to consider what it would look like to call back your spirit, to call back those parts of yourself. So then it got me thinking, why is it that we resist healing? Why do we perceive ourselves to be stuck in suffering? The reward we get when we forgive is truth. What then causes us to resist having this greater truth? Caroline Myss says, if we forgive the things that we've been holding on to in our past, we get like another 50 gallons in our tank, $50 more to spend. Our life will move faster, and we are more afraid, she suggests, of the speed of change than we are to forgiving somebody. We are afraid to forgive because we know in our gut that if we forgive, our life will move faster. That we will have more change than we know how to handle, that we are not designed for quick change, that we're terrified of it. One of the reasons we hold on to the painful past is that we believe it is a way of stopping painful experiences coming toward us. The more we hold on to a painful yesterday, it's like saying to the universe, no, sorry, universe, I'm already trying to heal this, now go easy on me, I've already got enough. So we believe that we can control the speed of change that occurs in our lives. This, of course, is false and can be comforting for a moment. One way or another, these changes are going to happen. And like that numb hand holding on, when we build walls or we hold on so tightly, we don't just simply build a wall against that which we are trying to resist. We build a wall against everything. I've drawn the connection between antibiotics and these types of defenses that we build up, meaning they don't discriminate. They go in and they take out the stuff that's there. And so with that wall, it doesn't discriminate. It both keeps out love and those things that you are resisting. Inevitably, in Caroline Myss's work, when she would ask people why they're still holding on to this wound, time comes up. I'm not ready yet. It isn't the right time. I don't have time to look at or work through that. And she says what we're really saying is I'm not ready for my life to move faster. I like the time zone I'm in. I like knowing exactly where my dishes are. I have my routine, I'm comfortable, and I don't want my life to change so rapidly. The result, however, is that we stay suffering or feel stuck until we choose to forgive and accept. The gift to us in forgiveness is truth. The reality for many of us is I want you to think about a time when you really struggled to forgive somebody. And I want you to think about that moment when you truly, truly forgave them. When we consider those moments, oftentimes in those moments, you will also see that you are gifted with a greater truth, that you see the situation, the person from a different place. That is the difference between going around the mountain over and over again and coming back to the same spot, and going around and around the mountain again, deepening and growing and seeing and hearing and feeling and being with eyes that are new. That is the gift of forgiveness. I wanted today, though, build on the idea of forgiveness by spinning the perspective slightly. I find sometimes that we often focus on what we have to let go of to forgive. And then I find that, at least for me, at times I'll find myself holding on even tighter. So I want to draw us closer and in to be able to release with ease and flow. I was gifted this week with this analogy of an egg. And the analogy said this: if an egg's broken by an outside force, life ends. If an egg is broken by an inside force, life begins. Great things always come from the inside. I noticed too that I was thinking actually about cracking an egg this morning for dramatic effect. And the coolest, sweetest, most awesome lesson was learned. As I held the raw egg in my hand and I pressed on it as hard as I could, it would not break. So I offer you this morning the gift too that you are stronger than you realize. So as we grow this idea of the egg and we hold this idea of dying when it's the outside in, but growing, I imagine us just strong and opening, much like butterflies in that formative state when we change and grow from the inside out. So I want to think about the outside in as discontent. And this can be destructive energy. It harms us physically, emotionally, and relationally. It may be a symptom of ingratitude or the inability to accept one's lot in life, never having learned to be content with whatever circumstances. Philippians 4:11 says, at its root, one is shaking an angry fist at God, accusing him of failing to satisfy one's expectation. This kind of discontent is self-centered and cynical, can become vengeful, and it causes us great suffering. It turns its back on love, the divine, God. It pushes others away from love, which we know happens when we're hurting. It's unholy discontent. But much like the polars that I talked about earlier, on the other side of this pendulum is also discontent. But this type of discontent is called a holy kind of discontent, as author William Munn suggests. A holy kind of discontent seems to be a fertile ground for God's people, for love's people. What makes it holy? He says, I say it is holy because it keeps facing God. It keeps turning back to love and turning back again and again and again. It empathizes with love's heart and God and divine's heart for humanity. It sees human fallenness from love's perspective, with grace. Holy discontent refuses to paint a rosy picture and dismiss the things that it sees with divine eyes. It yearns for Spirit's mercy on fallen humanity. It is expressed in prayerful weeping and pleading, even while resting contently in love and God. Unholy discontent lacks mercy. It refuses to cooperate with God's lavish grace towards those who show up in a different way or less than what we expected. Conversely, holy discontent ignites spiritual passion. It is propelled by divine love that energizes people to partner with God and one another with love in the formation of a true and vibrant world. So do you see why holy discontent is fertile ground? It's life-producing. It flows out of life itself, divine life. It refuses to give up on the Spirit's enduring promises, even when circumstances look bleak, or especially when circumstances look bleak. It allows one to stand firm with spiritual eyes and watchful and fixed on the greater hope. This holy kind of discontent is seen in the prophetic writings and scriptures. This is why biblical prophets can still inspire us today. The Apostle Paul put it in this way, 2 Peter 1:19. And we have the word of the prophets made more certain, and you will do well to pay attention to it, as to a light shining in a dark place until the day dawns and the morning star rises in your heart. We are each of us prophets. We find ourselves distressed over the effects of injustice and evil, whether through civil authorities, social peers, church, family, or other. Discontent is natural, yet it is also natural to react out of strong emotions. Fear or anger may arise, or a fight or flight instincts, and we may become driven by grievances and a sense of moral superiority. Discontent is not our problem. It is the inability to see from the perspective of divine heart. We must learn to look for God, to live through love, to be in the flow of Spirit, allowing Spirit to transform our reactionary tendencies into mature, patient, and restful trust. These qualities will guide us towards wise choices in our lives no matter the circumstances. When we are affronted by human reality, the human condition, I would say, which kind of discontent will rule my life, holy or unholy? May the following be our personal prayer. Divine, make me aware of any roots of unholy discontent in my heart and replace it with a holy kind of discontent that spurs me on to action in my life. Work within me so that even if you should require me to confront injustice and pain, that I will do so immersed and shining in a light of love, and shining this light of love into the brokenness. Amen. As we head into a musical meditation, I invite you again to consider the words of a song that I grew up with. They go like this. I've tweaked the words a little to match the now for me. Turn your eyes upon love. Look full in its wonderful face, and all the things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of this glorious grace.
Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, flow into the mystery. Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, flow into the mystery. You have all you need, it's all inside of you. Just close your eyes and breathe and know that you are safe. Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, flow into the mystery. Flow into the
Taking a deep breath in, allowing your body to relax, to take in the peace of this moment, responding to the invitation to turn toward love. Invite love to enter your head. Feel the sensation of love as it flows in your mind. Allow its healing. Invite love to enter your eyes. Feel the sensation of love. Invite it in. Allow its healing. Invite love to enter your throat and to run down the spine. Welcome love. Allow its healing. Invite love to enter your heart, to ignite like a fire within this heart space, knowing that love can hold the expansiveness of your feelings. And in true reciprocity, offer gratitude back to love, welcoming that love deeper into your heart space. Invite love to enter your belly, to hold your power. Allow its healing. Invite love to enter your hips, to flow into the lower back, a warming sensation of love. Allow its healing. Invite love to enter your hips and now to flow down your legs. Embrace the sensation of love and grounding. Safe, peaceful, grounded. Embrace the sensation of pure love as we move into the silence. Coming back into this space, imagining yourself as a beam of love light. Maybe allow a smile to cross your face. Soak in love. Expand your connection to love, no matter what is going on around you. Love invites us in. Love calls us to turn back. Love is ever present, there, holding you, no matter the circumstances. I also invite you this week to continue to open your heart and your mind, and to join us next Sunday as Rev. Greg Coles joins us to continue to invite us into greater self-awareness, power, connection, and community. I'll share in closing today the song that I shared the words for at the beginning, and I invite you to take that in. Turn your eyes upon spirit, look full in its wonderful face, and all things of earth will grow strangely dim in the light of love's glorious grace. May you grow increasingly aware of the morning star rising in your life. Amen.
Oh my gosh, Mel, I don't even want to speak. That was so beautiful. It's like I just want to let that energy be. Wow. I think you could write a book from just the 2-part series. There's so much in it. And I've made notes, and I'm so grateful that it's posted on YouTube, and it will be on our website, because I'm going to listen again and make more notes. It is, for me, it's always about perception and the meaning that we give things, and what stories are we telling ourselves. And I just love how you tied that all in with such beautiful wording. Your analogy with the egg, oh my gosh, perfect. I've never heard that before, and it was just like, okay, that's a good one, write it down. Anyway, thank you so much. We are so blessed by you, by Greg, by all the wonderful speakers that we attract. And so I invite everybody to affirm our gratitude expresses as peace, love, and joy. We are gratefully and wonderfully blessed. Thank you, Mel. And beautifully put, inviting everybody next week for our guest speaker on August 23rd, Reverend Greg Coles, who is going to be speaking at our 11 a.m. celebration service, Growing Through Change. And then we can have a break for some fellowship, get something to eat, have some lunch, and we will all be invited to come back at 1 o'clock to a sacred listening circle facilitated by Reverend Greg Coles. And I know that that is going to be so special, so you don't want to miss it. A reminder that Unity and A Course in Miracles is starting on Wednesday, August the 6th. It's a 5-week program which ends on September 23rd with Reverend Bill Heller, who is one of the co-authors of the book. So if you'd like some more information or to register, please email me at unitykitchener@gmail.com. And then just a reminder too that there's no yoga this month, and that after service we will have an opportunity to share any takeaways from Mel's talk and anything that you would like to share from that experience as well. Let us now bless our Unity Kitchener together. Please affirm. Open to a deeper spiritual understanding, Unity Kitchener resolves and heals without struggle or strain. We handle our affairs and decisions with good judgment and positive, bold conviction. We are divinely guided to right action and innovative solutions in sacred synchronicity. Aligned with Spirit, we are prospered and whole as a community and as individuals. With love and gratitude, we say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Unity was built on prayer, as we all know, and Unity Worldwide Ministries, it offers so many different resources at unity.org, at silentunity.org. There's a prayer line, you can email, you can order free publications. There is a Silent Unity Vigil prayer space, which I invite you to take a look at. And I invite you now to put any names in the chat, either privately or publicly, of anyone who you would like prayer for, whether it be yourself or someone else. Put those names in. The universe knows who that person is and what that person's prayer is. So I'll give you a few minutes or a few seconds to do that. And as we move on, if there are other names that you would like to add, please feel free to do so. We are so grateful at Unity Kitchener for all the love offerings, tithes, support that we receive both in time and towards our finances. It really allows us to do all this wonderful work, to have the wonderful speakers that we do, to be able to provide the workshops that are coming up and the spirit groups. So thank you, thank you, thank you. It really helps us thrive and serve in a way that you guide us to do so. So let us bless these love offerings and tithes with gratitude for being able to both give and to receive. Together, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I joyously give, and all that I joyously receive. Thank you, God. Amen.
I am the light of God. I We